It's your boy Prince Elias for another wonderful episode of Snake Cinema Podcast. Yes, this is another episode. I believe we're on episode 27 now, probably. It's 27 or 28, but anyways, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm about to get to the chat in just a second, but first, let's pay these bills. This podcast and every podcast, the entire channel actually, is brought to you by Mutation Station LLC and Lucy Land Ball Pythons, and recently added Candy Lady Creations. Yes, all three companies are sponsoring this channel. Mutation Station and Lucy Land Ball Pythons are a family owned and operated ball python and feeder company. The best rodents in the Memphis and Mid South area. Argue with your mother on that. And they have some dope clutches on the way. I've seen some pairings. I've seen some babies. I bought some babies, but more on that in another episode. But yes, they got some fire clutches. Um, and then Candy Lady Creations is the person who makes my merch, Rock on Reptiles, Bosa, Unique Serpents by Maki, uh, everybody, the whole crew. And so I don't know if y'all can see this, but she did my Jafar. I forgot when I show merch, you can't have this background. I'm sorry, y'all. You would think I would have learned 27 episodes. Background must be gone to show merch. There we go. Okay, so she did the hoodie and she gave Jafar his own little special signature, his own little signage on the hoodie. And we never slack on the back. Never slack on the back. So she has my social medias, all that jazz. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you, Candy, for that. Candy Lady Creations on Instagram. Please give her a follow. And if you want her, she makes custom tumblers, wine glasses, coffee mugs, hoodies, t-shirts, hats. I got some trucker hats coming in, custom made. Super excited that she's making for me right now. So please tap in to Candy for Candy Lady Creations. Um, so shout out to all of my sponsors. I thank you for your support. Let me get to the comments. Who was first? Of course, my compound brother, Bosa. Let's go. And then my niece, Banna. Hey, Banna. Welcome. Good morning. Of course, Father Dunn. You already know. What's up, Mr. Purple Rain? Let's see, Banner says, have y'all ever be looking at people's pictures on Insta and can tell who uses lotion and who don't? Banner, you already chose violence this morning. You woke up and chose violence. James, what it do, James? What's up? Ken, LMK, the big RWO family. What up, everybody? What up? Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Jumping in the shower, but I'm listening. That's fine, Ken. That's fine. Um, yes. Thank y'all for tapping in. And also tonight, my big brother Wiz for Wiz Constrictors. Oh, they have their Sophisticated Ignorance podcast tonight at I guess it's 9 my time, Central Time. Um, so please tap into that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try to hop on for at least 30 minutes. I'm going to try, but I'm going to have to tap out because it's Easter weekend. And y'all know my side hustle is doing side cameras for a big church here in Memphis called Hope Church. And so, um, yeah, we have two services tonight and then we have two services in the morning. And I work the cameras, and so yeah, I can't stay up late with y'all tonight on Sophisticated Ignorance, but I'll tap in for like 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, and then I gotta dip out. But I heard it's gonna be a lot of Diddy talk tonight, so stay tuned for that tonight. Let's see. Ken said that's the RWO, not the FWO. We not gonna even address that clown. That clown and his crew. They ain't shit. They ain't shit. So, but yes, it's the RWO, the real recognized real. Black folks. Why is Rock calling us on a group chat? Anyways, anyways, uh, about to get real ignorant tonight, right, Banner? Yeah, I'm gonna take plenty of naps tonight. Even though I'm not staying up late with y'all, I'm gonna take plenty of naps. So at least the first 30 minutes, I'll have a good laugh and I'll be on it with everybody. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So today's podcast only have one review. It's a documentary on Netflix that I watched last week, and so I'm gonna review that. But I'm gonna do that later on. Today's a very special. Well, actually, this whole weekend is very special for me personally. I've been a part of a conference since Thursday, a virtual conference. I'm hopping on to that conference as soon as I'm done with this podcast. But um, it is because tomorrow, March 31st, is officially the Trans Day of Visibility. Now, for all the straights and other people in the LGBT community who are not a part of the trans community, the reason why we celebrate Trans Day of Visibility, let me go ahead and pull this up via glad.org. Shout out to GLAD. It says each year on March 31st, the world observes Transgender Day of Visibility, or TDOV for short, to raise awareness about transgender people. It is the day to celebrate the lives and contributions of trans people while also drawing attention to poverty, discrimination, and violence that the community faces. And it was created back in 2010. Um, and so, yeah, every March we celebrate Trans Day of Visibility. Those of us who are out and open, we share our stories. And I do want to share mines. I won't be long. I do want to share my story, my personal story, because I came out later in life. Um, I wasn't one of the ones who came out um, as a child. But before we do that, I do want to pause for the cause for a second. If we could just do 10 seconds of a moment of silence, because one, trans people die at die violently at an extreme rate, and it's not even including self harm, self deletion. They die. They are murdered at an excruciating rate every year. Like, I think they said the average age of a transgender woman is like 35. Like, it's rare for a transgender woman, that, someone who was born male and transitioned to female, especially black. They don't live longer than 35 because they're either one, murdered by someone that they know or love, either a lover, a family member, or a friend, whatever, or self deletion, self transitioning. I can't say the word on YouTube because they flag it, but y'all know the big S word. Um, and so I do want to take 10 seconds, it's not going to be long, of a moment of silence for at least these four trans individuals who have been killed um, since January of this year. And so, first, 16-year-old Nex Benedict. Then there is a trans woman by the name of Diamond Brigman. And then there's a trans man by the name of Chevy Hill. I believe he was in Georgia. And then there is, I believe, a trans man or non binary mass presenting person by the name of Alex Franco. So, just for 10 seconds, let's pause for the cause, take a moment of silence to honor those who we've lost so far in our community. Okay, thank y'all so much for allowing me to do that. I appreciate y'all. I know people in the chats, people who follow me are allies. Y'all support me. Y'all love me. Y'all accept me for who I am. And I appreciate y'all for allowing me to take the time to honor the brothers and sisters in our community who we've lost tragically. Either they were murdered or self delete. Um, and so, yeah, rest in peace, rest in powers to those beautiful souls. Um, and let's just get to it. I'm gonna give y'all a short, hopefully, short and sweet history of me and how I've came out. My whole life I felt different. My whole life um, I never felt in tune with my body. I just did not know how to explain it. I was raised in a very uber strict religious Christian household, as many of you have in the South. And so y'all know how that dynamic is. And, growing up, growing up, my family and friends let me know that being gay by itself was not okay. And so I suppressed that because as early as elementary, I knew I was bi. Now, for those who don't know, bisexuality and transgenders, your sexuality and your gender identity are two different things. Bisexuality is who I'm attracted to. Transgender is who I identify as, is who I am at my core. So since elementary school, I knew I was attracted to both male and female. That was a given. Nobody, even my family, even before I came out, they all knew. I liked everybody. If you was cute, I liked you. But I did not discriminate in that sense. But as far as me coming out as trans, I actually first came out as a lesbian, as gay, because I did not know what trans was. I was not exposed to any of that. So for all you people who believe, oh, if you see a gay person on TV, if you see a trans person on TV, your kid's gonna turn gay. No, no. I was exposed by straight people my whole life, and I still end up the way I am. Uh, and so um, when I came out as gay, but it did not feel right because I've never um, related to females. I never related to women, especially gay women. Um, I never related. I hearing the word stud and butch and calling myself that, I was like, it just didn't feel right to me. It just did not feel like it was me. And then when I was working at Target around 2014, 2015, around that time, I met for the first time that I knew. I probably met plenty beforehand, but openly, that I knew a trans man by the name of Leland. Shout out to Leland. I love him. He lives in Nashville. That's my brother for life. I don't care um, what happens in the world. That's my brother for life. I'll ride and die for him. But we met. He started working at Target. He was very open. He said, "Yo, I'm a trans man. I was born female, transition to male, and he looked good, like beard, everything. Like if he just walked into a store, you would not be able to tell that he was once born female at birth. But he was the first person I met, and he introduced me to a whole world and a whole community of people. And once I met him, everything clicked. Everything made sense for me because I've never, like I said, related to females, the female body. It just, it was never, it just never felt real for me. Even as a child, it was just like, ooh, especially when hormones kicked in and puberty, like I felt like an alien. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? What is this? What's going on? My flesh crawls. but but yeah, so anywho, I didn't come out as trans until much later in life. Like I want to say almost my 30s, like late 20s. And once I said it out loud to myself that I'm a trans man, it was it was peace. Peace washed over me. Um, and it was no question, no confusion, no nothing. Like it was when I came out as gay or lesbian. Like it was no hesitation. It was just peace, just washed over me, and it made sense. And I immediately came up with my chosen name. And it's been great ever since. Now, I do plan on getting my surgeries and things. It just takes time and money because I want insurance to pay for most of this stuff. But even when they do pay, I got to pay a lot out of pocket. And as y'all can see, I'm trying to build my reptile company too at the same time. So the reptiles are kind of taking all the money right now. But yeah, I yeah, it just takes time and money, but my goal, at least, I turned 35 this year. My goal is by the time I am 37, I want to have all of my procedures done. The hysterectomy, the top surgery, these got to go. These mother truckers, these moves got to go. Um, at least by the age of 37. And I'm working towards that. I found the surgeon. Luckily, I thought I had to go to Nashville to get the surgery. Nope. We have some very great, highly recommended, well, at least two. We don't have a lot. We only have two highly recommended female surgeons who do sex reassignment surgeries here in Memphis. So and I've looked at their reviews and I've asked around. So yeah, super excited. It's gonna happen. I just gotta save up money, stop buying reptile shit, stop traveling, and hopefully my insurance will cover at least. I'll be happy if they just cover 20-30% of it, and I'll get all that shit done. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. But yeah, I just wanted to take the time because tomorrow, the 31st, is Trans Day of Visibility. I just wanted to take the time to honor those we've lost, to share my story. For those who don't know, because I get a lot of new followers lately, I am a trans man. Creative Reptiles is a Black and trans owned company. I say that proudly. If y'all look at my merch shop, I changed my logo to a trans flag logo, and I have some merch there. So if you're transgender or if you're an ally that's not afraid to rock the blue, pink, and white, you can rock that merch too. But um, yeah, so and also I am documenting. If you don't know, I have a second channel. I am documenting my transition journey and my weight loss journey all on that channel. It's called Shed Yourself Vlogs. So please check that out if you're not subscribed to that channel. So when I do have my surgeries and everything will be recorded and documented on that channel, not on here, not on Creative Reptile. So yeah, so happy Transgender Day of Visibility to all my trans brothers and sisters. And that is it on that segment. Before we move on to the movie documentary review, let's go to the comments because I neglected y'all. I'm so sorry. Stan the man hopped in. What up? What up? Justin, what up? Pressure P. I got all the RWO family, my cousins in the chat. What up, Maki? What up, Maki? I know you at work, but thank you for tapping in. Thank you for tapping in. Let's see, Father Don said, doggone it, I done strode too fast. Let me go back. Okay. While there are a lot of focus on trans kids right now, most people don't come out until later in life, so you're not alone. Facts. Facts. That is true. I'm now starting to meet more and more people in the community who are like my age and older, like 40 and 50 years old, coming out because we all grew up. If you grew up before the internet, we all grew up in a time where you get killed or you get your ass beat in public and nobody would bat an eye if you're a part of the community. So yeah, and also surgeries back then were either A, way more expensive than they are now, or B, did not exist. Like sexual reassignment surgery, a lot of them did not exist back in the days, like in the 80s and stuff. And if they did, you was risking your life going under the knife. It was like that backwoods, or like what the women going to other countries to get those BBLs and those butt shots. It was kind of that dangerous, where you was in someone's living room about to get chop chop. Let's see. Banner said, "Thanks for sharing your story, E. My cousin is trans and it took him a while to figure out his way to." Yeah, yeah, it takes a while because, especially growing up, I was born in the 80s. Growing up, you were either one or two things. You were either straight or you were gay. There was nothing in between. You know, I proudly say we're the alphabet gang. The alphabet gang, even though we existed, even though we've always existed. There were trans people even way back in the day. There was not a language for it, and there was not um, everybody just lumped us all together. They just lumped everybody together. Um, and if you were trans, most trans were called transvestites or trannies, and those are discriminatory terms now. But back then, that's what you were called, or you were called a he, she, or a man in a dress. That's what it was back in the day in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, even way before that. But we've always existed. But yeah, it's it it's it's crazy. Ken said, "I'm not scared. I support it." Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Fred. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for tapping in. Tommy, thank you for tapping in. Publix. I miss Publix. We don't have one in Tennessee, but when I lived in Florida, I stayed in Publix. They chicken and they breakfast stuff, man. Fire, 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 fire. Yeah, so that was just my little story, my little spiel, sharing my story of me being a trans man and coming out for the first time. Um, but now that we've done that, let me go ahead and move on to what y'all really came here for. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and put the banner up. This is what I'm reviewing today. This is the movie that I'm reviewing today. But I wanted to, before we get started, I wanted to address something because I do have my finger on the pulse when it comes to films and music and TV shows. I do know for the most part, I know all the hot topics and things of that matter. But I will say this: nobody has came out and attacked me or anything, but I just want to put the disclaimer out there. This is my channel, and I get to pick and choose what I want to talk about, what I want to review, and what I want to watch. I do have boundaries, and I'm very strict on those boundaries. There are certain films, certain genres, not even genres, because I watch any genre, but there are certain films that tackle various topics that I just do not even partake in. I'm the type of person, I will watch other reviews or I will go online and check out the plot synopsis before any video or new TV show that's not like an intellectual property that hasn't already existed, for the simple fact that I know my triggers, I know my heart, I know what could send me down a depression and spiral. So, with that being said, I know about the Nickelodeon documentary Quiet on the Set on HBO Max. And I'm so happy that those children, those victims, I mean, they're grown now, but at the time they were children. I'm so happy that those victims are able to share their stories and share their truths. And I stand by them 110%. And I feel like Nickelodeon should be held accountable. And I feel like those cre- um, those creators and those big corporate studios, and not just Nickelodeon, Disney, Warner Brothers, everybody, all the big name companies need to be held responsible for how they treated the child actors and the child stars back in the day. With that being said, I did not watch the documentary. I know it exists. I know the subject matter. I did not watch the documentary. I don't plan on watching the documentary. I will not review that documentary. I choose to protect my peace because I am a victim of child SA, childhood SA. Again, that's another word that YouTube will flag and suppress, so I'm not going to say it, but you know, assault. I am a victim of that. I've dealt with that when I was a child. I've gone through all the therapies you can think of. Um, and that's a subject matter that I do not partake in. I don't care if it's a TV show. I don't care if it's a documentary. I don't care if it's scripted. I don't care if it's a Lifetime movie. I don't care if it's a horror film. If I find out that there is something that deals with that topic, I stay away from it for my peace. I protect my peace because I know just hearing someone's story will send me down a depressive spiral. It will trigger me and have me thinking of my situation. And I've been so good like this year, and I'm smiling because it's a smile of joy. This year is the 12th year anniversary of me trying to self delete myself and surviving that attempt. October 16th to be the exact. I'll never forget the date. Um, and that's why I got this semicolon tattoo. But yeah, I don't want to be triggered. And so I will not watch that documentary. Again, I support the victims. I'm happy that they're sharing their story and they're coming out and saying, yo, this is what happened to me while I was working on this TV show and that and that. But for entertainment purposes, for this channel purposes, that's a documentary I'm staying fucking away from. And I hope y'all understand. I really hope y'all understand. And if you want to watch other people review, for the past 2 weeks, since that documentary dropped, for the past 2 weeks, everybody and their grandma been talking about it on YouTube. There are plenty of reviews. You don't need my opinion. You don't need my hot takes on kids who are on these Nickelodeon shows getting abused by the staff, directors, writers, community. You don't need to hear what I feel like. I stand with the victims. Fuck Dan Schneider. Fuck all those pedophiles who were uh, working there at Nickelodeon Studios and all the big studios. I just choose to protect my peace. I'm not watching it. I'm not reviewing it. You can watch someone else's channel for that content. And with that, let's talk about Lover, Stalker, and Killer. Lover, Stalker, Killer is a documentary on Netflix. It dropped February the 7th, and it follows a truck driver named Dan. Hope I pronounced his name right. Not Dan, Dave Krupa. It pretty much he's recapping and sharing his story of how he was once married, had kids, but unfortunately him and his wife they had a divorce. I think it was like their work schedules, they just fell out of love, typical, got too busy, so they got a divorce, but they always kept in contact and they stayed um, living relatively close together because he said even if we're not together, I want to be in my kids life, I want to be in the same city with my kids. So when his ex-wife moved back home with her family at their home state, he moved there too because he wants to co-parent correctly as he should with his ex-wife to take care of his kids like a real man should do. Um, and so basically this documentary is him, his ex-wife, and a couple of other people sharing the story of, after their divorce, when he um, decided to get back on the dating scene, he decided to, go on Plenty of Fish. Y'all remember that website? He decided to go on Plenty of Fish and casually date. And he let everybody he was involved with know, hey, I'm recently divorced. I do not want anything serious. I just want, company, have fun, whoop de woo, have, you know, if we get lonely, y'all know Uber Eats. um, and so and for the most part, all the women he dealt with, for the most part, which wasn't many, but when you casually date, they were on board. They were like, yeah, cool, whatever. But then things took a turn for the worse when one of the ladies caught feelings, met one of the other girls that he was also casually dating, and turned into a stalker. Now, this documentary has some twists and some turns, and it did go in a direction that I did not think it was going. Like, I was like, whoa, this can't be real. Like, this documentary, this story is so crazy and so wild. And I'm not going to spoil it because I want y'all to go watch it. But this story is so wild and it's so crazy that I had to Google whether this really happened and was this true. And of course, it was. There were real people involved, real victims involved, and I'm not gonna lie, this documentary after watching it makes me happy I'm single and it makes me not even want to look for anybody because boy, oh boy, oh boy. For someone to go to the lengths that this stalker went through just for this man. And I'm not saying he's ugly. I'm not saying that he's actually, he's decent looking with a beard. Uh, he's decent looking. But it has nothing to do with looks. For anybody to go this much length, this much hard work, this much time to stalk someone, and not only them, their family members, they got to the point where they start stalking the ex-wife who had nothing to do with anything. The ex-wife is just living her life. She's moved on, remarried, her kids, they just, he's just, they're good co-parenting. The man who's the Dave and her are good co-parenting. They just chill, like, hey, come get your kids on the weekend, call it day. Like, she has nothing to do with anything. And the stalker was going crazy at her and attacking her. And I was just like, whoa, like this documentary. Of course, it's Netflix. It was well shot, cinematography, great, direction, great. Um, Shout out to the team that figured out this crime and caught the stalker because they had to. This stalker, when I tell you, this stalker went to great lengths to hide their identity. They went to great lengths to make it to where nobody could find them. The detectives had to hire the real geek squad, like a real um, um, IT tech people, to go backstage on the computers, on the webs to find this stalker. But it even took them a long time to figure it out because this stalker used like multiple VPNs, multiple IP addresses, like, and the man who was in charge of the Geek Squad, like he really did the Lord's work and he spent hours upon hours. This man, I'm not gonna spoil the whole story, but this man got diagnosed with cancer or some type of illness. Oh Lord, I'm losing my light. Hold on. He got diagnosed with some type of illness, some type of tumor, and he had to have surgery. That man said, "I'm not going into surgery until we solve this case." He told his doctor it's not happening because the surgery would impact his thinking, his brain, his mental capacity, and he didn't want to lose that. Um, because the doctors did say it was going to affect his job. So he said, let's solve this case first, and then I'll go into surgery. So shout out to all of them, and they're still alive, and so they were there, the detectives and the Geek Squad, to share their part of the story for the documentary. It was just so well crafted. But when I tell you, this story went in ways that I did not expect. Like, you would have thought Tyler Perry wrote this. You would have thought this was a Lifetime movie. You would have been like, nah, this ain't happened. This ain't real. This no. All because a truck driver decided he wanted to casually date after divorce. Like, and it's so sad. I feel so bad for him at the end. Like, even though they solved the case and the stalker got caught or whatever, there was still a lot of real victims in this case. A lot of real victims, not just humans, animals. Like the stalker killed someone's pets. They had dogs, cats, and snakes. Shout out to the reptile community. But like even animals were not safe in this documentary, in this story. Um, and like I said, this stalker went crazy. I never knew. I know males can get this crazy, but I didn't know females could get this crazy to the extent that they went. But it was such a well crafted story for it to be so true. And like I said, I had to Google, do my research. I was like, nah, they making this up. Netflix making this up. They just pretending it's a documentary. This No, it's a real true crime case that was covered in 2020. Y'all know that show back in the day where it was covered in that. But yeah, this I highly recommend. The reason why I'm not going into details and not spoiling the stalker or anything, because I really want y'all to go and watch this fucking documentary. It is so fucking good. As far as documentaries go, as far as movies go, I want to rate this 10 out of 10. It was damn near almost perfect. If I had any complaints, it would be very minor, nitpicky, not nothing to take points off of. But yeah, this doc was hella good, hella great. 10 out of 10. It's on Netflix. You already got Netflix, so go ahead and watch it. If you don't have Netflix, you know some people with a code, password still theirs, like I do. I steal my dad's passwords to everything, his HBO Max, all that jazz, the Peacock. So yeah, go watch it. Go watch it. It's well worth the fucking hour, 2 hours. I don't think it's that long. It's well worth it. Well worth your time. Um, and when you finish watching it, you're gonna be like, if you're single, it's gonna make you not want to jump back in the single scene. The dating scene, especially online dating. And if you're in a relationship, be happy and grateful for the relationship you got, cause it ain't gonna get no better out in these streets. These folks is crazy. These folks is wild. Um, but let's see. Okay, so let me go back into the chats. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been neglecting y'all. I'm sorry. Let's go back up. What did I miss? Okay, Tommy with Publix. Yeah, I already read that. Da 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 da. Thank you, everybody who's been tapping in. 9 to 8 piece. 9 to 8. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that Publix chicken. I miss it. I think I miss Publix more than I miss just living in Florida. Facts banner. If you ain't liking, you stalking. I got a lot of stalkers banner. I don't know if you know. Some of them hate me because I talk shit about Justin Christ of Latter Day Saints, and I talk shit about the clowns down under Peg Leg and Pinhead. But I got a lot of stalkers. I got a lot of stalking who stalk this podcast and stalk my Instagram it, but don't be liking. Let's see. I seen you all right. I'm gonna be driving and listening. Hope everybody have a great Easter. Happy Easter, Ken. Have a great day. Nikki, what up, Nikki? My favorite, one of my favorite Nikki's. I can't have a favorite Nikki. That's not fair in the reptile community because it's four of y'all, and all four of y'all are amazing. But I love you, Nikki. Thank you for tapping in. It's okay to not watch certain things for your mental. Yes, facts, banner. Yep, got to protect your mental. Like I know some people who literally cannot watch any movie where the animal dies, and so they stay away from like horror films, or they stay away from like the Marley and Me's. Y'all know those sad dog movies where person raising a dog up and they go through that whole journey, then the dog passes away, or oh Yeller. Like there are some people who literally cannot handle that type of material, and that's how I am when it comes to childhood abuse and child SA. I cannot watch that for entertainment purpose. I cannot, even in documentary form. Gotta protect my peace. Bitches be crazy. Yes, they do. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just turned it on. Oh, what's up, everybody? Rockabilly, rock, rock, rock. Mr. Calling people in the middle of my podcast. Keys, what up, big bro? Y'all stayed up for 6 hours last night. I just went back and watched the replay before this podcast, and I said, God damn. I fell asleep at the 3 hour mark. Oh shoot, yeah, you're right, Keys. I do need to make them blue. Why is Nikki and Banner not blue? I'm slacking. Sorry, y'all. I slacking. Let me do that now. Let me turn my niece and my sister blue on this beautiful day that the Lord has made. This beautiful Saturday. But yeah, if y'all miss Hair Down Friday, definitely tap in. It was a joy to see, especially when Austin popped in, Austin and Levance. But that's a 6 hour long podcast. Oh my gosh. Let me turn it. Stan, you not blue? Oh, I'm in trouble. Stan supposed to be in blue first before anybody. I'm fucking up. I'm sorry. Charge it to my head, not my heart. Nikki, you turning blue now. Charge a banana, banana. Charge it to my head, not my heart, everybody. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Let me make sure I got everybody. Turning everybody blue. I'm going to get a whooping. I'm going to get a whooping. There we go. All right. Everybody's been smurfed. Thank you, Keys. Thank you, bro. Usually, Bosa would be the king of, hey, you ain't smurf nobody. He's slacking today. Also, hey, Keisha. I know you somewhere in the background listening. Oh, Keys definitely got stalkers. Yeah, but it's okay. They love us. They love us. We should all send our stalkers free t-shirts since they stalk us so much. Uh, but yes. If you have not seen that documentary, please go watch it. It's a buttload of fun. And again, if you're single, it makes you glad that you're single and want to stay single. And if you're in a relationship, it makes you appreciate your spouse. Hella much, cuz boy, oh boy, oh boy. She's sleeping right next to me. I thought Keisha went to bed before the rest of us last night. But yeah, man, that was a great show last night. That was a great show. And I think y'all gonna do another 6 hours tonight on Wiz's channel. I can't because I have to work at church all weekend for Easter. We got 4 services and I gotta do cameras for all 4. As a matter of fact, my boss just texted me and they've moved rehearsals up. So I'll be in that church building running cameras because we have dress rehearsals from like 1 o'clock till 7 tonight. But at least they feed us. They feed us, and sometimes we get blessed with because the camera crew are volunteers. Sometimes on Easter's and Christmas services, we get blessed with, you know, gift cards like Visa gift cards and things like that because we're not on payroll. But hey, I'll take whatever. I'm not, hey, you feed me. If you feed me dinner tonight and breakfast in the morning, I'm good. I'm Gucci. Free coffee and shit. And one of the reasons why I work at that church, one, because the cameras there is top notch and the director is like he's from the news stations. He used to work at the news station before he worked there. So they all about that quality HD, that quality 4K video quality. And not only that, but to piggyback off Trans Day of Visibility, the first day I stepped foot in that church, because I was invited by one of my therapists back in the day. First time I stepped foot in that church, I told them, look, I'm trans. I'm not changing. You're not going to change my mind. You're not going to pray the gay away. You're not going to do none of that shit. You either accept me or you don't. And they did. They accept me. Like, they call me by my chosen name. They use he pronouns. And they respect me. They respect me and they love me. They ain't trying to change me. They ain't trying to pray the gay away or pray the trans away or none of that shit. I go in. I do my business. I work the cameras, and as soon as we done rolling and my camera is turned off, I'm out the door. Half the time I don't even stay for the preacher. I ain't got time. I'm not a member, none of that shit. And then when they have special concerts with like celebrity gospel artists like Kirk Franklin and them, when they come into Memphis, if they have a concert there, I get paid for those gigs because they got a budget. But yeah, but that's why I work there even though I'm anti-religion, because they respect me, they love me, and we're family, and I love the experience I get. Um, I got a film degree. I went to college. My undergraduate is in film and video productions. I need to use it somewhere. I'm not working for the news station. Fuck that shit. I got to use my degree somewhere, and I do it there. But yeah, let's see. Food is love. Food is always love. Yes. Yes. They better feed us. Yes. Uh, let's see. Headed out to the beach. Everyone have a blessed day. Love you, Stan. I wish we had a beach here in Memphis. Love you, Stan. Have a happy Easter. If y'all celebrate Easter, the kids, the grandkids, make sure they get to take pictures with the Easter bunny and go look for Easter eggs. Don't buy them a real bunny. Please don't. There's a big trend every year of people buying bunnies for their kids, and then they realize, oh shit, I gotta feed this thing, I gotta care for it, I gotta bathe it. It's like having a dog, a miniature dog that bounces around. Yeah, no, don't do that. But taking pictures with Easter bunnies are cute. Um, but yeah, y'all have a happy Easter. That is it for this week. Next week we will be having a music heavy episode. I know a lot of y'all. Next week I'm gonna get jumped by the people in the comments and by my friend Maki. Maki has texted me and said that she's gonna be a guest on the podcast because she has a rant about Beyonce's country album. And I automatically know that she and I are going to disagree on this album. So tune in next week. You get to hear Maki rant in English and in Hawaiian about Beyonce country album. Particularly, what pissed Maki off was the Jolene remix cover. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. But I'm also reviewing other music albums that dropped. Rico Nasty, one of my favorite of the new girls in hip hop and rap. She dropped 3 packs, EP, LP, whatever you call it, the 3 pack singles. I'm going to be reviewing that. Of course, everybody's been talking about Metro Boomin and Future's album. So next week is going to be music heavy. But if you want to hear Maki rant about an album that I love, and you're going to hear me passionately, lovingly talk about how much I love the album. It's not going to be a debate. We're not debating. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Art is subjective. So for those, but I just know next week I'm getting jumped by everybody because I'm going to be the only one who enjoyed Beyonce's album. But I will tell y'all why I love the album. Um, and the rest of y'all can tell me that I'm full of shit. But that's okay. It's gonna be all good fun. Again, um, I believe this afternoon, Irresistible Balls, Nikki, and them will have a podcast on their channel. So subscribe and watch. They have their podcast later on. I think 3 p.m. my time. Nikki, if you're still listening, put in the chat the actual time y'all podcast will be, and then later on tonight. I don't think there's going to be any sophistication whatsoever. Later on tonight is going to be pure 100% ignorance on We as Constrictors podcast, Sophisticated Ignorance. I did. Speaking of which, I did get my Sophisticated Ignorance T-shirt from Wiz's shop. I will be changing. I did not want to wear that shirt at church because I don't want people to ask questions like, what is sophisticated ignorance at church on an Easter service? But I will change out of this into that one on tonight to support my bro. So please tap in. Again, that is 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, I believe, unless he changed the times. But anyways, it's going to be a buttload of ignorance, probably 90% about P. Diddy and that fiasco, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Tap in, tune in, all the podcasts, support everybody, support every podcast except the clowns. Fuck them. And y'all know who it is. And if y'all don't know who it is, DM me and I'll tell you who it is. But everybody else, support everybody. Support everybody. We are all love. We are peace. We are family. Support US Arc. US Arc. As Stan always reminds us every show. Support US Arc. They are the reasons why we still have our animals. They help fight the good fight. And they, at least, at the very least, the bare minimum, they let us know when the politicians are on their bullshit and try to sign laws that don't need to be signed. And again, lastly, this podcast and every podcast is brought to you by my sponsors, Mutation Station, Lucy Land, Ball Pythons, and Candy Lady Creations. And be on the lookout. I have a vlog coming soon. Where I am specifically shouting out all three sponsors. And I was gonna do what we as in Keys and them do and have some fancy little 60 seconds or less promo, but instead I'm gonna do a full vlog, a full video where I share how I first met Nikki and Jason and Kayla, and how I first got cool with Candy, and just support and shout out their business and everything that they do. And just I want to do it big. I want to do it big for my sponsors, because they're not just sponsors, they're family. They really do love and support me, and I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for these three companies, these folks. And so we're gonna have a big vlog, Snake Prince vlog episode coming soon, where it's all about the sponsors. And be on the lookout in May when we have our big YouTube anniversary special. Because for those who are just now getting into creative reptiles, for those who I just met this year, I've been a YouTuber since 2012. Technically before then, but officially a YouTuber, a vlogger since 2012, back when I was in college and I was in film school, and I just had a camera in my hand and I was always recording shit. And when I moved to Florida to work for Disney World, I was a Disney vlogger. And then when I started running marathons and half marathons, I was a running fitness vlogger. And then it just slowly evolved and transitioned to what you see now with Creative Reptiles. So we're going to have a big 12-year anniversary of this YouTube channel in May, because that's when I first uploaded my first vlog in May. And also, it will be the 5-year anniversary of the Snake Cinema reviews. I've been reviewing movies since 2019, the very first video. And again, I'll talk more about this in May. The very first film I reviewed was the remake of Aladdin in 2019. And so it's been 5 years going strong, and to see it evolve from me just making little clips, reviewing TV shows, movies, and different songs and albums, all the way to this podcast, Snake Cinema Podcast. It's a beautiful journey, and I'm enjoying it. So we'll be doing a big, huge celebration. Every podcast in May is going to be fire. Every show in May is going to be fire, including giveaways to people who've been tapping in and watching. So if you've been in the chats consistently, you're automatically in the running for some of these giveaways. I'm not gonna allow just random people jump in on this giveaway just because we posted about it on Instagram, or just because we talked about it on I'm not going to make like a reel or a TikTok just to promote this giveaway. No, this giveaway is exclusively for my supporters who are always consistently watching every weekend. Even if you don't watch every weekend, if you comment on my vlogs, if you always comment on my podcast, if you always a part of the replay gang who let me know that they're in the replay gang, you're automatically in the running. So if you're in the comments now, you've been actively chatting, you ain't got to worry about it. Your name is already in the running for these giveaways that we're going to have in May. And a lot of the stuff that we're giving away will be created by Candy at Candy Lady Creation. She will be making the t-shirts, making the hats. The only thing she's not making is the custom backpack. I'm using Printify for that, but everything else, I believe we're going to do tumbler cups, stuff like that. I already got I already got the exclusive anniversary logos created and ready. And I'm sending them the candy, telling her what all I want to be made. And so be on the lookout. The month of May is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be hell of a lot of fun. And I have my channel sponsors to thank for that. Anyways, that is it. I'm going to let y'all go because I got to go and log into this trans tech summit conference that I've been doing since Thursday for trans people who are in the tech world, in the business world. And today they're doing a lot of seminars on coding and things like that and entrepreneurship. And so I got to tap into some of these sessions. But anyways, I love y'all. And then after that, I have to go work at church and be a slave to the Easter services. So anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for always tapping in, always supporting your boy. And I just so great, so great. What up, Brian? Thanks for tapping in. If you missed the podcast, hit the replay gang. And I will check y'all out later. This has been Snake Prince Elias with Snake Cinema Podcast. We will see y'all next week with a music heavy review episode. Peace.